There are certainly some lasting images here still in a huge crime scene here behind me. I'm standing on blood-stained sidewalk, and I want to show you this. See that freezer out there in the street? That was inside the concert. There's blood on it. It was used as a gurney to wheel someone out who was injured in this shooting. And if you look up in the daylight, you can actually see the broken window where this all took place, the shooter shooting out that window. These 5 men were identified as Fresno's most wanted. Now, since that time, all 3 of these suspects have been arrested. The latest arrest happening this afternoon. So now the focus for police is on these 2 suspects.
So Patrick, investigators say this person has an extensive criminal history. What are you finding out?
Well, it turns out he's just 21 years old, and he's actually spent most of his adult life either in court or behind bars. And I dug up court records today that show Hawk was arrested for crimes involving guns, gangs, and even running from police. But everyone got out okay from your household?
Yes.
And from what I understand, there's still a lot of uncertainty here. And Tony, I want to see if we can just kind of show this hillside. I mean, even at night, we've seen wildfires kind of die down in the nighttime hours, but you can just see those smoke plumes. The heavy downpour so strong it brought floodwater that not only washed out this road, but destroyed this bridge. Firefighters tell me that fire has been fueled since 8 o'clock tonight by walnuts because they can be extremely oily, and that oil makes that fire burn more intensely and even hotter, making it far too dangerous for firefighters to go inside. Even at this hour, you can still hear the sound of drills at this apartment complex as they continue to put up boards like this over areas that were damaged by the fire. Take a look, 2 stories worth of homes here burned out. It's loud and it's rowdy, and the tradition has gone on for more than a century here in Clovis. Take a listen. Tonight we're riding along with Fresno police. This is all part of a special operation the next 2 weeks to crack down on violence in the city of Fresno. This is where the FBI is executing a search warrant in connection to the San Bernardino shootings this afternoon. Patrick Nelson coming to you again from the rough fire. You can see it burning here behind me. Jessica Milam is from Sanger. She was one of the hundreds of people injured in this vicious attack here in Las Vegas. She's here at the Desert Springs Hospital tonight, and it turns out the hero that may have saved her life was her close friend.
My immediate thing, I pulled out my phone, was calling my mom, and I told her, I was like, Mom, I just want you to let you know I love you, and I don't know if I'm gonna make it out.
Destiny Albers stood next to her friend Jessica Milam of Sanger as bullets rained down on the country concert venue in Las Vegas.
The second round of shots were going off, and then I could feel the shot hit my friend Jessica, and it went through her whole body.
What happened next may have saved Jessica's life.
As soon as I felt that shot go through her, I was like, I'm not leaving her. She's getting out of here alive. I don't care what it takes. I'm getting her out alive. And I did.
Destiny looked at Jessica and told her she was going to drag her to safety.
I know it's gonna hurt. I'd rather it hurt than for you to be here.
A stranger in a pickup truck drove the girls to Desert Springs Hospital, where Destiny tried to shield Jessica from what was going on around them.
I saw a man laying on top of his wife, saying, God, why? Why no? And then there was a 7-year-old boy that didn't make it who was shot in the chest. And it was just heartbreaking.
Jessica is alive and recovering in the hospital. Her father, Ed, is calling Destiny a hero.
I'm extremely thankful to her, and I'm extremely proud of Jessica for sure.
And we had that difficult conversation with Destiny right here out in front of the hospital. And she tells us that she always viewed herself as someone that would run from an active shooter situation. She even surprised herself with the courage that she had not to leave. Megan, this quiet neighborhood looks much different during the day. Car after car speeding past these homes. A man who lives here says he spent the last several years trying to get people to slow down, even investing in traffic cones like this one. But so far, nothing has worked, but he refused to give up.
It is everybody from young to old just flying through here. So Now I've become known as the crazy guy in the neighborhood.
Jason Reynolds and his family have lived on West Spruce, just up the street from Nelson Elementary, the last 4 years. In this 30-mile-per-hour zone, Reynolds is tired of people speeding.
And I got fed up and I decided, you know what, I'm going to put my own speed limit sign out here.
This homemade sign and 25-mile-per-hour speed limit are the result of years of frustration.
We've had 4 dogs get ran over, including one of mine. We've had my wife actually pulling into our driveway has been rear-ended twice.
But most drivers aren't impressed.
Now it's gotten to the point to where people, as they come flying down my street, they wave at me sarcastically. Yeah, I love it. I love it. And they'll tell you the truth, I just can't comprehend why. It's just one small thing. One small thing, just slow down. That's all I ask, just for a minute.
The sign has been up for months. It wasn't until this week someone filed this complaint with the city through the Fresgo app. City officials say the sign needs to come down.
Residents are not able to post their own speed limits. They're not able to paint red curbing or install stop signs or other things like that.
But neighbors say they appreciate the sign.
Well, I have a 2-year-old and sometimes he runs out, so I think people should be more safe than sorry.
On a normal day, most people are 40 miles an hour, 45 miles an hour. Yeah.
And that's too fast.
That's way too fast.
Still, the sign must go. But because of the neighborhood's support of Reynolds' stance, the city vows to take action.
With that concern, we're going to go ahead and go out and do we'll call a engineering speed survey to see is there a warrant to actually lower that speed limit to 25.
Reynolds says he won't miss the sign and his mission won't change.
I mean, I'll take the sign down. You know, I'm not out here to break any laws or anything like that. I just want a peaceful street like everybody else around here has.
And back here live, here it is, the sign, maybe the last few hours that it'll be standing here in this neighborhood. But I'm told in addition to looking into perhaps making this the actual speed limit in this neighborhood, the Fresno Police Department has been notified as well, and they'll be doing regular patrols here to make sure people are not speeding. Well, Ken, as you know, our news crew, the only one on scene at 11 o'clock last night as investigators tried to work this case. It was then that I found out investigators spent hours working with the corporate offices of Starbucks to obtain this video that our viewers are about to see in its entirety. One thing I learned is investigators say in this video, you not only see the actions of a hero, but the takedown of a man who will soon be facing many felony charges. This is 58-year-old Craig Jerry enjoying his Starbucks order and working on an iPad at 5:30 Thursday evening at the Starbucks store on Golden State near Herndon and Highway 99 in Fresno. Suddenly, a man holding a yellow bag wearing an Optimus Prime Transformers mask flashes by and heads to the register. Jerry watches as the man threatens the clerk with a fake gun and eventually a buck knife, demanding money. Police investigators say the man in the mask is 30-year-old Ryan Michael Flores. And what Flores doesn't realize is Craig Jerry has made up his mind. With a chair in hand, he plans to stop the robbery attempt. Jerry hits Flores from behind and a fight ensues. Investigators say Jerry was stabbed in the neck during the struggle, but managed to wrestle away the knife and stab Flores several times. Flores would flee the store and was later arrested by police.
There's probably not very many people in America that would do what Craig Jerry did last night. That was incredibly heroic, and it is the way that I would think most people would think that they would respond, but may not have the courage to respond.
Police leaders say Craig Jerry did need 6 staples in his neck to mend the stab wound he suffered, but he is resting and is expected to make a full recovery. And Flores, the suspect in this case, who, as I mentioned, was stabbed several times during that struggle. At last check, he was in critical but stable condition, and investigators say as soon as he exits the hospital, he'll be heading straight to jail.